All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is Saturday group Q&A. Sorry, still got folks popping in the waiting room. So I'm Jill Johns, one of the corporate mentors with Cornerstone. It's so nice to see so many of you joining me on a Saturday morning. I thank you for taking time out of your day. And more still, bear with me. The first few minutes of a group session tends to always be people still popping in, so bear with me as I pop over to my other screen to let folks in. So again, I'm Jill Johns, one of the corporate mentors of Cornerstone. This is an open Q&A session. The way this works is you are free to unmute yourself and ask your questions. If you're not asking questions, I do ask that you stay muted just because background noises happen and they can be a distraction. And to keep things rolling, it's just nice to have everybody stay muted until you're asking a question. So I thank you for that in advance. If you're participating in Wave Makers, please make sure your display name, I'm taking a quick peek now. It looks like everybody's got their first and last name, which is awesome. If your first and last name are not displaying on Zoom, you need to make sure that it does display so that you can get proper credit for attendance. The way I take attendance for a group session is stay with me till the very end. A couple minutes before the end of session, I'll go through the participants list and take screenshots so that it's nice and easy peasy. I just do some screenshots, send those off to Vicki, and it's all done. So thank you for that. And again, you're welcome to unmute, ask your questions. If you're not comfortable doing so, there is, of course, the chat box you are welcome to use. And if you're just here to observe and listen, that is perfectly okay as well. So that's my spiel. The floor is yours. I'm armed with my big cup of Joe. So who wants to get us started today? Oh, Tom.
I will.
Tom's been typing while I was saying my spiel. Found a hotel in Snap, but could not figure out how to send a quote to my client. I don't recall seeing a way to send a quote for clients either. That might be one of those sites where you have to just kind of cut and paste the information either into an email or into like a Canva doc or some other type of document to send it. That would be my recommendation. I oftentimes, if it's something simple, something quick and simple, I'll just copy and paste it into an email, adding the additional information I want to. If it's something a little bigger and more detailed, I'll put it into like a Canva doc and make it nice and pretty. And I've got templates that I created and I use. And
Yeah, I ended up just going to Expedia and found it, sent it that way.
well, whatever works.
I was just hoping there was an easier way in Snap or a Hilton or something like that, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's not every, unfortunately, not every website. I mean, I know that even Royal Caribbean's quote system doesn't always work right as far as sending the quotes from what I've heard. And so if when in doubt, just copy and paste it and or just retype it on your own. It's not the best way, but not every website is as intuitive as we would like it to be. So um sorry. If I cough too much, I'll mute myself. I've got my second screen up just as the backup. I'm so sorry. This is the remnants of my allergy attack when I got back to California 2 weeks ago. And it's just, the allergy and just all that compounding stuff. 2 weeks is killing me here. So I apologize for hacking in your ear. Like I said, if the attack gets too bad, I'll mute myself and so that I'm not coughing in your ear. Um, let's see, Kelly, for Wave Makers, who do we contact to see if we're on track or what things we may need to make up? I know I have all the supplier webinars, but not sure if I have all the Q&As needed for January and February. So that is going to be Vicki does the tracking. So you can send Vicki an email. I usually suggest if you're going to participate in something like Wave Makers, especially since you need 4 live Q&As a month, and is it 1 or 2 live suppliers? I honestly can't remember at the moment. It's still early. It's only 8 o'clock here. So bear with my brain while it wakes up. And however many live suppliers, just I would suggest making a list and then just checking them off as you do them.
It's 2 suppliers a month each month.
That's what I thought it was. So my suggestion is just make a quick spreadsheet, Google Docs or Google spreadsheet, some sort of a list, and put like January, and then just write down the ones that you go to, just so that you know. And that way you've got record also, so that if if you're thinking that you're complete and somebody said, and Vicky says, no, you're not quite, you can say, no, I attended on these days, and she can go back and double check the attendance. So it's always good to keep your attendance records for yourself, just in case. So that's my 2 cents on that. Let's see, Lori, when booking international flights, do you earn commission? So in general, no. Flight international, domestic, airlines in general stopped paying commission about 30 years ago. It's been a very long time since they stopped paying commission because they decided that booking flights was so easy. Why should we pay someone to do it when people can do it themselves? Now, there are exceptions to the rules. There are some airlines that still pay commission. The best way to see those commissions, if they're available, is by booking air through SNAP. The other advantage to booking air through SNAP is because it is based on it. The background system is a GDS system. I talked about this on Thursday's Q&A. GDS is the old background system that travel advisors used to use. It was a command line system where they would say, they would plug in a command and it would bring up a booking screen, but it was very, I know some of you are way too young to have any idea what those look like. Some of us are of a certain age that we know what the command line windows look like, and you'd get these little, they'd get, it would say name, and they would type in name and tab through it. It's a lot like the graphical interfaces that we have now, but instead of pretty little boxes, it was just this black screen with the typing on it. And so that's the GDS system, and it still runs a lot in the background of some travel advisor systems. GDS is run on, is what SNAP is based on. It is a GDS system. And the advantage to booking air through a GDS system versus something like TAP. TAP is considered a third-party system. So if you, third-party supplier, so if you book air through Expedia TAP and there's an issue, you basically have to go through TAP to try to get a resolution. Whereas SNAP being through a GDS system, you have the ability to go straight to the airline. And if they give you any issues, you just say it was booked through a GDS system, I can call you. And so there are advantages to that. And SNAP is really good at showing you all, once you select an outgoing flight and a return flight, it will show you all the different seat selections down at the bottom, has cute little boxes. The very basic economy, it'll show you that it's non-refundable, non-changeable, fees to select the seats, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. SNAP for commission, even for hotels, you have to watch for the little red dot. Sometimes it's just this little red dot that shows the commission. You hold your mouse over it, it'll show you. The catch on commission with SNAP is that, or on air through SNAP, is that it is a 50-50 split of commission with Travel Leaders Network. Just remember also that with SNAP, you have the ability to add a service charge. So if you have a flight that you're booking for someone and there's not commission on it, towards the end of the booking, it will pop up a window. Somebody recently posted about it on the Facebook page. I actually pulled that up on Thursday when we were talking about this. And it will ask, do you want to add a service charge? Their default is $30 per ticket domestic, $50 per ticket international. You can change that. Just make sure, as always, my general spiel is if you're going to charge a service charge, make sure you notify your clients about it in advance and get their approval in writing so that your base is covered and they can't come back to you later and say, hey, you charged me extra and I didn't say you could. So always get approval in writing of some sort, even if it's just an email, because then it's coming back from their email. So make sure you cover your bases with that on service charges, but it is nice to have that ability. The other nice thing about charging service charges through SNAP is that your client's only going to pay once. That service charge is going to get added to the total of the airline ticket. They're going to pay SNAP one time. You're going to put that service charge in as commission. So if there's commission and you're charging a service charge, just add it to it. But they're only paying once. So it's nice and easy peasy. Let's see, what else do we have? Yes, Tanya mentioned the same thing I did about the 50-50 split. Oh, let's see. I'm going to jump, Catherine, I'm going to skip your question for just a second. Christine is, why doesn't Allegiant show flights on SNAP, Expedia TAP, or VAX? So not all of the budget airlines work with all of our suppliers. My understanding is that Snap should show Allegiant. It's possible that Allegiant just isn't showing for the dates or the destinations that you're looking for. And that comes from Amy. She actually commented that that Allegiant should be available through Snap. It's just possible it's not available for the time you're looking for. All right. Let's see. Catherine, when purchasing either Allianz or Chubb annual plan, do we need to do the training first prior to booking, and then do we enter it in the test afterwards for commission? No and yes. So anything that you book through a supplier TA portal, you absolutely want to make sure that you put into Snap so that you get your commission. An annual plan is going to be entered a little bit differently than a per trip plan. A per trip plan commission is different than annual plan commission. Per trip plan, you're going to enter it with the start date and the end date because it's based on a trip. You're not going to see that commission until around that 30 days or so past the end of the trip, just like commission on the trip itself. Annual plans are different in that when you enter it, you're putting the date that it starts as the start of the trip. So let's say that April 1st, I go in and I buy an annual plan for myself. So it's going to be April 1st, 2026 to March 31st of 2027. Well, I don't want to wait. Of course, we don't want to wait until March of 2027 because we're paying for the whole year. It's not something we're going to cancel. You can't cancel the insurance. So I would put the start date as April 1st. I would put the end date as April 2nd, and that's going to kick out the commission much faster for an annual plan. Again, that's only for the annual plan. Per trip plans, you're going to put the actual coverage dates. All right? I think I got that one covered. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Nope. Tom, Kelly, Lonnie, Catherine, Christina. Hey, I'm on track. All right.
Okay, I have a question for you then.
Hi,
I'm
Tom.
sorry. Hey,
Don't apologize for having questions. Never apologize for having questions. It is absolutely okay.
this was such an aggravation, but I had a client that booked a trip through Delta flight to Florida last Saturday, but all flights to Florida were canceled from Atlanta to Florida. But anyway, so Delta issued the refund, no problem. So he booked a flight for Monday, I think it was, on Frontier. He flew down there, was not happy with his flight at all, so he canceled the flight back. Anyways, make a long story short, and he booked a motel too. I accidentally canceled the motel and the flight back in test. I can't seem to recover the motel. It was only $8.80. I wasn't worried about it, but I don't know how to recover it.
So if it's canceled, so it probably dropped off your screen because canceled trips don't show by default. It's something that's set into the system. We can't change it. The trips that show are the trips that show, but there is, let me move everybody's faces out of the way here. All right. So when you're looking at trips over here, you've got the status right here. This is where you're going to find it. So if you click this drop down, so let's say, I know somebody was asking the other day, can they change it so they don't see so many things like the ones that are already traveled and that sort of thing? You can, but it's not going to stick. It's default for everybody. There's no way to change it. If they change it for one, it changes it for everybody. And some people like to see it all. So the way you're going to see that is you're going to click this drop down. You can see that canceled is not selected. So if you go in and select that at the beginning of each session and then just click.
Is that in trips? Okay, in trips.
Yes, in trips. I'm in trip management in the trips. And it's over here to the right, the status. Just click that box and then click out of it and it will refresh and it should show you your canceled trips. Should show you your canceled trips. There we go. There's one. Status. So here's one right here.
I don't have a status.
Are you full size? Is your screen full size?
Yes.
Or are you minimized?
No, it's full size. Let me go back to trips this way here. I went to it differently than I should. I got my own little cheat systems for doing things. Not necessarily the right way to do it, you know.
Cheating's fine as long as it still gives you what you want.
Okay, right. I don't see a status.
That's weird. Yeah, it should be there. You should see.
Jill,
yeah.
Or Tom, do a control minus, or if you're on a regular not an
Oh,
apple.
you're thinking he's above, higher
He's
than
above the
regular.
cellular
Oh.
set.
Is your
Yeah,
screen
there it is.
resolution bigger?
Thank
Your
you.
screen.
Yep.
Yes.
See, I told
I'm
you
an old
you were.
man, so I'm an old man, so I gotta make it big so I can see it. But there it is. Okay, thank you. I
Sorry.
got it.
I know I sound horrible. This is just it. The mornings are the worst. Sorry, hack in your ear. All right, so now you've got status. So now you just go ahead and click on that, select cancel, click out of it. Your screen's gonna just refresh a little bit, and then you should see your canceled trip. And then at that point, just edit it and then change the canceled back to booked, traveled, ready to travel, whatever you want to show it as.
Thank you. Thanks to whoever it was that gave me the advice.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I said if you were full screen, but I forget sometimes people blow their resolution up higher to make that everything bigger. And I tend to, if I can't see it, I've got a touch screen, so I just go whoop. And then I shrink it back down so I can see all my, 50 million windows I have and tabs I have open. So, all right, let's see. Looks like this question may have been answered in test when creating a booking description on a cruise. How would we do the name? Yep, basically like that. Just like Carrie said, you're going to do, so the description for Tess needs to be the client last name. So if you've got more than one client, you can absolutely put more than one name. I use dashes to separate. So let me go back in. So she showed hers with slashes in the chat. I tend to do mine with dashes just because, so I use dashes like this. So last name dash supplier dash. And the reason I do it that way is because here I've got two people on the booking with different last names. So I do last names slash last name dash supplier dash tour, whatever it is, dash the starting date. But this is the way you wanted to show anything that's on here that's not exactly like that. Like this one doesn't have the date. It's because I still haven't gone back and gotten them all updated since they changed the way they wanted to display. But so that's basically it. Last name, supplier, a brief description of the trip, and the start date of the trip is how you want that to show. All
I
right.
thought they wanted the booking number, not the start date.
No, start date.
Thank you.
It is the start date. I will show you in the featured section. I think I showed this one yesterday too, or Thursday also. It was on January 9th, I think it was Vicky's. Good thing I just did this on Thursday. I'm covering a lot of the same stuff we covered Thursday, which
Thursday, but I never could find it.
So the easiest way I find, rather than scrolling through, side by side, is to click on featured at the top, because that's just going to filter out all the rest of it. And then you have to scroll all the way down. I think it was January 9th, January 20th. This one right here, January 9th, important memorandum. This email shows proper input. She wants the client last name, supplier, destination, first day of the trip.
Can you, by any chance, click on that, open that particular message up, post up, and then cut and paste the link into our chat bar?
Well, I was looking to see if I could. There's no option here for me to copy the location of it, but I can copy the entire text.
Okay, well that's easy enough, I suppose.
I'll just do the entire text into the chat. Ta-da! Yep, we've got some people trying to join late. Sorry, guys, you're out of luck. I hate to do that, but sometimes people still try to request it, 40 minutes after the hour, and I just can't. It gets excessive. Let's see. We've got, what else do I have? Okay, so. Wendy is asking, what is the correct process for credit card authorizations? There's a Canva form provided by Cornerstone that appears to ask for a card number. On my one-on-one, we shouldn't take entire number call to obtain Yes. So the only thing you're asking for on the credit card authorization form is the last four of the credit card number and the expiration date and the CVV code, that sort of stuff. Now, you're never going to ask for the full credit card number on that form because you don't want them to submit that to you via email for obvious reasons. Once you get that signed form, then you're going to absolutely contact your client and get that full number and process it over the phone and process the payment. So that's how you're going to do that. Let's see. In test, once the trip is completed, is travel the final status, or will there be another status once commission is paid out? Nope. You can either, your last status can either be traveled, or some people leave it as paid. Some people, it's kind of just how often you go back in and update your records. I have some that were, paid, ready to travel. I try to go back in periodically and update it, but it's, sometimes it's a matter of having the time to go back in and update it. But if you're real on top of your updates, then yeah, you can absolutely switch it to traveled, and that is the last status. There's nothing else that's going to happen once you get your commission. That's kind of a separate thing. So hopefully that answers your question, Tanya. Kelly, what are the top suppliers to check for best rates for Sandals Resort? For Sandals, I would go to Sandals. I imagine that you may be able to book them through other suppliers, but we do have Sandals and Beaches that you can book
Because I
directly
sent
with.
him a message earlier, so I told him call your phone.
Lisa, you unmuted yourself. That's what I was talking about distractions. She accidentally unmuted and we were hearing her conversation. So like I said, Sandals is probably who I would go to if somebody was requesting Sandals. Let's see. Wendy, what do you provide to a group once a group cruise reservation is completed? You mean once you've booked it or once the trip is actually completed? Wendy may not want to unmute, so let me scroll down to make sure. Well, I'm glad you got in, Vicki. I do tend to, like I mentioned, I do tend to stop letting people in at a certain point just because I don't feel it's fair to those who are already on for me to stop and keep having to admit people and so I'm glad Vicki got back on.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is Wendy. I couldn't get unmuted. I just mean, I just meant what's provided once the booking is made.
Well, that's kind of up to you as to what you want to provide. I, of course, always provide a booking confirmation so that they can see that, because you want your clients to review the booking to make sure that the names are correct and that the pricing is what they agreed to and all of that. And other than that, that's kind of up to you what you want to provide. Some people may do, big fancy documents right away. They may wait and send additional information later. I don't tend to send anything other than the booking confirmation right away because I've got people. Typically when I book a group, it's 2 years out, so I don't really need to send too much right away. That's probably not helpful to you, is it, Wendy? If anybody else has anything else that they send, if you do books and want to chime in to help Wendy out, that's perfectly acceptable.
Thank you for that. Sorry, I'm just having such trouble unmuting, but no, that's
okay.
very helpful because it is like a year out also. So just wanted to know any ideas out there. So thank you.
So yeah, so I'll tell you, one of the things I do, Wendy, with all because I do book a lot of cruises, and so I'm assuming that your group may be a cruise.
Yes.
Especially since it's a year out. One of the things that I utilize a lot is the task feature within Test, because with them being booked so far out, you've got things you're going to want to remind them of. So this one is 2 years out. It's my own personal booking, but it is part of a group that I'm hosting. So you can see I've got the task feature over here. It's also over here. if you enter tasks from over here on the left-hand side, those are going to be general tasks not associated to a booking. If you utilize this task feature from within the booking, it's going to be associated just to this booking. I put these reminders in because, like I said, these are 2 years out. Well, because this particular one is for September of 2027, but it's been booked for several months. So air is still not yet available. It's not going to be available until October 2027. So, or October 27th. So I still have quite a ways until air is available for myself or any of my clients to book. So I've got a reminder in here. Tess is going to remind me in 7 months that I need to send an email to my clients saying air is now available. Please go get booked, because as we know that booking your flights right away is often the best for getting the best options and hopefully the best pricing. I put final payment reminders. I personally print documents for my clients. That's something that I do for them. Not everybody does that. That's my personal choice. I add gifts for my clients prior to the sailing. I send bon voyage emails and welcome home emails. And then if there's anything else that you can think of that you want to add into there, you can certainly add reminders. These will show up. You will get alerts up here and notifications. You will get on your dashboard. You'll see this is the trips that are upcoming, but here's my tasks due. So as things are coming due, they're going to show you right here. Coming up in 6 days, 7 days. You can see I've got currently 316 tasks, 8 days, 10 days, 14 days, etc. Now you're also going to get an email, which is very nice, so that if you happen to be out and about and you're not logged in, you will get an email from Tess that says, that is not, am I in the right email? There we go. So it's going to look like this. Test CRM updates for the date of whatever date it's sending you. It's going to show you any reminders that you've got. So add gifts to this booking, final payments coming due. I don't know why that's coming due because that's very old. I must have the wrong. I must have been showing somebody an update and put in the wrong date because that trip is over. And then any celebrations to remind you of or current trips. And so so you get reminders, which is great. Helps you remember in a couple different places, both here and that email, that you need to take care of something. So to me, tasks are huge, huge help. So I would recommend taking advantage of that. All right, let me stop sharing my screen because I forgot to do that before. Let's see where I left off.
Jill, are you on using Test Pro or advanced?
Nope.
Or
I'm on
standard?
basic.
Okay.
Nope, I'm on standard. No, I don't do pro because all of my processes are manual. I've been a travel agent for 9 years, and Cornerstone's my third host agency, and it's the first one where I've had access to a CRM. So everything I've done, everything I've created, has been, done on my own, and I'm just a creature of habit. It's just I know my processes like the back of the hand. I don't want to have to reinvent the wheel and pay to do so. So I stay kind of old school. I just do the basic, and I continue my processes the way I have always done them. Just call me old. It's okay.
I'm going to interject and say I love Test Pro because they can put their credit card information in and it automatically goes into Test.
Yeah, I know a lot of the CRMs do that, where you can have them bring that. They can fill out that credit card authorization form automatically, and like you said, it goes into the CRM. And for me, I've got a lot of repeat clients, and so I actually have their credit cards on file. That's per their request. They're like, "Can you just keep this so I don't have to give it to you every time?" Well, yeah, I don't like to, but yeah. So I have my own filing system, but it's all locked away and done up on its own. So. Let's see, Katie. Oh, it looks like Katie's gotten some answers. I'm looking for a Hilton rate on the Hilton travel agent site that shows as commissionable, but when I search the same hotel and dates in Snap, the rate's higher. Am I possibly missing something in Snap, or do some Hilton commissionable rates not pull through SNAP. Yeah, it's very possible that some of the rates don't pull through because you have to think of consolidators. You have to look at them as that they don't have one set rate for everything. I look at consolidators as they get room blocks, which is why pricing changes, is the way I look at it. Is they go out, probably get a room block contract, and when that room block's done, they get another room block contract, and the price may be different than it was, with the last one. And yes, it's absolutely possible that I've seen where, Beds Online or RoomRes might have different room categories available than TAP versus SNAP. And a lot of that can be just because they've sold out of that particular category for their allotment, which is why I look at it as room blocks, because not everything is always available. So I hope that helps explain that, Katie.
Yes, it did help. Just quick question about that. So like I
Sure.
know it says that Snap is preferred to book Hilton. Is it okay if I book through Hilton and still enter my travel agent info since it says it's commissionable? I mean, since it is a cheaper rate, this particular booking is for myself. So I want to get the
So-
best rate for myself.
So I want to explain the thing about commissions is that you can absolutely make sure that you're registered with Hilton. We are registered with Hilton. You need to make sure that you are as well under Cornerstone's details. However, I'm going to note that one of the reasons it's recommended to use a supplier like Snap for even Hilton and Marriott for regular bookings when you want commission is because Amy posted about this a while back. There are agencies like ASTA, which is the American Society for Travel Advisors. They actually have been going to bat with the legal system, with legislature and stuff, to develop legislature to get better payment rules in place, because the big chains like Marriott and Hilton and some of the others use a third-party supplier to make payments, and they have been horrendous at paying out. There are some people who have been waiting over a year to get their commission, and that's completely out of Cornerstone's hands. So you can, if you're missing a commission for a large hotel chain, that's probably wise, because they haven't been paid. And unfortunately, it's that third-party supplier. So booking through somebody like Snap, you're going to get your commission faster. Booking directly through Hilton, you may end up waiting a while. I mean, that's just, I'm not trying to deter you from it. I'm just trying to give you the reality. And that's why Amy has suggested that we utilize a supplier like Snap rather than going straight through the hotel chain. But as for the price difference, you can make sure that you're looking at, and you probably already have, but just if you haven't, make sure you go line by line, make sure it's the exact same room title, make sure the inclusions are exactly the same, make sure that the taxes are included and the resort fees. Because sometimes on the consolidators may include the resort fees in the total price, whereas the hotel chain may not. You might see a hidden line somewhere, might be a smaller print that says resort fees due at the property, or something along those lines. So you really have to watch the fine lines and make sure that all of the taxes and fees are included on both of them when you're saying that Snap is higher than Hilton Direct. So just double check those prices and make sure that you're comparing apples to apples.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Sometimes, like I said, you get those third parties involved when there's a third party payment program out there that's paying that many, the sheer volume that they must be handling, and they're doing it very poorly. There's just no excuse for it. It's hugely unfortunate. But like I said, I know that places like ASTA and others are working as hard as they can, going to legislature, trying to get something in place that says, no, this is unacceptable. These people are working and they don't get paid until you pay them. They're not making hourly wage. Most of these travel advisors are not making hourly wages. Not every travel advisor works for AAA or Costco or, these big chains where they get hourly wages and then bonuses. Some of us are independents and we don't get paid until we get paid. And so for it to take them that long is just, it's horrible, horribly tragic. So hopefully they can get something in place about that.
Jill, hey Jill,
Yes.
I'm really new to this, and I have
Welcome.
several questions. But the one I saw where Colleen just put up about the fam trips, learning about that. Sorry, my yard man is out there, and he's going to get right by my window when I'm doing this. Anyway, I'm just trying to find out what number she's talking about on the fam trips because I did watch. I've watched it 3 times, the NAOs, and I'm still not. I just heard about it yesterday, but how you get on the fam trip, I guess. So could you
Okay.
explain that to me, please?
Yeah, hang tight. I haven't gotten to her question yet. I've got some other questions in chat before her, so let me go through the list, and as soon as I get to hers, I'll address that. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Wendy, do you need a new credit card authorization every time a new payment is made, i.e. deposit and then payments as they are made? Tanya responded that it's good practice to do an authorization each time. I've seen Amy respond that she does one at the beginning for the total price of the trip and then makes notes that the payment dates, something along the lines that the payment dates and amounts may vary. I personally do them each time, but I've been lucky that most of my clients are deposit and final payment. So I only have to do 2 of them when I do them. So, so if they're going to make payments, excuse me, it might be one of those where you want to talk to them and see, are they going to pay the exact same amount each time? Because if so, then you could do up a credit card authorization. I had one family who wanted to make payments, and rather than going through like a finance system like FlexPay or anything like that, I just went ahead and did it myself. Utilized that task feature, that amazing task feature. And I set up her credit card authorization form, and I said monthly payments beginning on X date, the date, date Y of each month until paid in full amount of, and so I broke it down on the credit card payment that it showed she was going to make monthly payments of this much on this date, starting this date. And then I just put the task in for every single month that she was going to make a payment. I put in 2 days prior, I did a task to send a reminder email reminding her that payment was going to get charged. And then for the date of, to remind me to go back in and process the payment. And then once the payment was processed, I went ahead and sent the booking confirmation, the updated booking confirmation, letting her know that the payment had been processed successfully. So that's how I handle it. They want to make payments. So if you have somebody who wants to make payments, maybe see if they want to make the same amount, break it down evenly, because then you can just calculate that out all kind of on one credit card authorization form. Because then the bases are covered. And if they want to make modifications, you can always do an adjustment, change the credit card authorization form. Lonnie, I'm trying to build my network and gain customers. Sadly, with work and personal responsibilities, I don't get to travel too often. What marketing strategies have most been successful for agents using social media? Eric responded, Vicky says she puts business cards in suitcases in department stores, and that had her rolling. Eric also mentioned you could get a travel agent t-shirt for conversation starters too. Absolutely. I have travel agent t-shirts I wear everywhere. I got this one from our Etsy shop. So I have lots of fun travel agent t-shirts that I get from Amazon. I've got one that says, one of my favorites, I think I was wearing it Thursday. It said first coffee. And then first we start with coffee and then I do the travel agent stuff or something like that. And so I've got lots of fun travel agent shirts that I picked up over time that I wear anytime I'm going out in public. I wear one of those shirts just because somebody's going to see it. Whether they start a conversation about it or not, it's up to them. But at least I've got it and I'm putting it out there every single time I go out the door. But anytime you start a conversation with somebody, try to bring travel up. If they don't bring it up, try to bring it up. Have your business card available. And I'm going to give you a tip if you're real new and don't have a business card yet because you're still working on your name. There's a tip I have in your phone under your contacts, whether you have an iPhone or an Android phone. It's going to be, the process will be a little bit different, but find yourself in your contacts list. When you find yourself in your contacts list, you can actually edit it put all of your details in here, your phone number, your website, your email, anything you want to list in there for your business. And then at the bottom, it might be in a different spot on an iPhone. I'm trying to get it to focus right here on mine. I have an Android. Right here at the bottom, it says QR code. If I tap that, it brings up this magic little QR code. And so if I didn't have my business cards, I could still say my business cards are on order, but if you scan this, you'll have my contact details. So if you don't yet have your business card, this is a great way to do it in the meantime. So just pull up your contact information, modify it, and then you can just pull up that QR code each time and they can scan it. So that's my nifty little trick for those of you who don't have business cards yet. I actually learned that from a Princess Crew employee. They were sharing their contacts with a passenger, and I was like, oh, I said, she's got an iPhone. I said, I wonder if I could do that on my phone. And so I went home and I took a look at them. I'm like, yep, there it is. So kind of neat. I have business cards, but it's kind of a neat little way if you forget your business cards at home or don't have them yet. It's a nice little interesting way to share that. So, but yeah, talk about travel anywhere and everywhere. Jennifer, hey Jennifer. Any other companies that you recommend for attractions other than Viator tickets for clients and golden tickets? Gosh, none that I can think of off the top of my head. None that I can think of. Let me check my list and just make sure I don't have anybody else.
Okay, thanks. I'm looking for tickets for NASA that they want the mission control experience or whatever. And I was just having trouble finding that on Viator. So I'm like, so I might just have to book that on
Ask that question on Facebook. Amy might have a recommendation.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. I was going to check and see if I have anybody else on my list. I was talking to somebody the other day about my spreadsheet of accounts, and she said, oh, yeah, it can get long, 20 or 30 lines at least. I went, mine's like 142. This is why I have a spreadsheet, because there's no way I'm remembering 142 accounts. No way, no how. I'm looking. I have to go slow so I don't miss anybody. At least they're mostly alphabetical, but no. It's your clients. Nope, those look like the ones that I've got. So unfortunately, I don't know of any others off the top of my head.
Okay,
if you find out, let me know. That's all right. Let me get caught up here on these chats. All right, back to Tom. When we get our commission, do we get a breakdown of whom the commission came from? Yes, you do. Let me share my screen and I'll show you. So, commissions. Over here on the left-hand side, go to commissions. When you're expecting a check, it's going to show up under my next check. See, I still don't have any money coming. Fortunately, I should have soon. I just got done with my group cruise to New Zealand and Australia, so that should all be coming soon. Yay! So if you don't have anything coming in my next check, you can always check for your past stuff. Once you receive it, it will be in here. You'll see the date. This is 03/02/2026. That's the date that they kick the payment out. So the check is 3/3. This shows one booking, one adjustment. So you come into here, you'll see reconciled. That's going to be the bookings, and the adjustments are going to be if, let's say, something they needed to make a tweak to something, that's going to be under adjustment. So you click on that, it's going to show you what it was for, and it'll have the details over here on the right. And then adjustment. Yep, that's adjustments can be any number of things. I've had some where the amount didn't get processed right or something, I forget. And so they just made an adjustment to correct it, is typically what the adjustments. Most of them will be regular, just regular bookings. Most of them will just be regular. Oh, look, Chubb. I think that actually completed all my Chubb, thankfully. No more Chubb. So hope that should answer that question for Tom. All right, down to Colleen's question.
Thank you.
You bet. Colleen, I'm entering res numbers in funnel faves for Carnival's game, and it keeps saying somebody already submitted it. You're gonna have to talk to Carnival about that. We have no control over over the Carnival system, so you'll need to talk to Carnival. And yes, Turn, Travify, Travel Joy, and of course Test Pro, Travel eSolutions Pro also do the authorizations for credit cards automatically. But of course, there's a subscription involved with that. And so if you're a brand new travel advisor, that's something to take into account, is that it's an additional cost. And if you're not making money yet, you really have to consider how much are you willing to put out at the same time while you're trying to earn money. Let's see. Oops. Okay, Katie, I think I already got Katie's. Sydney says, oops. Keeps jumping back up. Where did I go? Sydney, I made my credit card authorizations in Canva. Has anyone had success with this format? So that's the same format that Canva is the same format that Amy used for her files that she created in Agent Access. There is a form section if you haven't seen these. There are a bunch of forms available to you right here under forms, and one of those is a credit card authorization form. So there's template pack 1, template pack 2. I already have Canva open and logged into. If you haven't seen these, one of them is the credit card authorization form. Sorry. So you can see I'm already logged in here. If you're not logged in, it's going to prompt you to log in. Make sure you at least have a Canva free account. You do not need to pay for Canva Pro to modify these particular documents. She made sure that they were editable and functioning on the free plan. The template pack 2 has a travel inquiry form. This is what we call, I use this as something like this for qualifying my clients. Having this type of information, if you're new and don't have something like this, I highly recommend using this with new clients. Sometimes people ask questions on the Facebook page. If they were asking these questions, they wouldn't have those questions, because sometimes they ask questions about what would be best for my client who wants to go here. Well, we can't really answer that question because you need to know what your client wants. And that's where this form comes in handy. It's going to ask details about your client. See, this is how you edit it. If you do that, you drag the whole thing around. So you got names, basic information, how many people, dates of travel, are they flexible, budget, do they want vacation protection? If they want air travel, it's asking airline preferences, cruise preferences, hotel and resort preferences, car rental preferences, et cetera, et cetera. All of this is so important to doing the job as a travel advisor. Because if you don't ask your clients these questions, you're left wondering, well, because if they say, I want to go on a cruise or I want to go to the Caribbean, great. When do you want to go? Where do you want to go? How long do you want to stay? How much do you want to spend? Do you have a particular island in mind? Because we all know that the Caribbean is composed of many islands. So just saying, I want to go to the Caribbean is not helpful. If you went just based on that and started searching for places to send them, you could be totally spinning your wheels for hours and spending time giving them quotes on places they have no desire to go. You may want to send them to St. Thomas and they may, oh no, because that's a U.S. Virgin Island. I don't want to go there. So it's really important that you utilize something like this for intake, as an intake form or qualifying your clients to get those details. Yes, Tom? Did you have a comment about this? Nope. Okay. Accidentally hit
I've
that
always
mute
got a
button.
comment, but no, it wasn't me that time.
That's usually how
I have
I
a
am.
client. Yeah, I have a client though who says, "No, I've been to that island." And they says, "No, I've already been on that ship." It's like, oh my God.
Exactly. And that's why we qualify our clients, is because you want to know those details and say, okay, great, you've been on that ship. Do you like it? Do you want to go on it again? Or are you looking for a ship that's new to you so that you can experience something different? And that's why it's important to know, to get the answers to those questions. Super important, saves you time. Who doesn't want to save time? Because like I said, we don't get paid until they travel, after they travel. And so spending a lot of time up front getting the quotes on places they don't want to go or things they don't want to do is not helpful to anybody. So save yourself some time and use the qualifier. So this is the credit card authorization form that's available in Agent Access. It's in Template Pack 2. You can absolutely create your own as Sydney did, or you can utilize this one. There is also a disclaimer down here for if they decide to decline insurance. This is very important. If they decline insurance, make sure they sign this. Cover yourself, please. So this is a sample form. If you don't want to create your own right away, you can absolutely use this one. So just know that that is in Canva. You only need a Canva free account. If you're not very familiar with Canva, I'm going to show you a little magic trick. There is training available. If you're on the home page, go to More and just hold the mouse over it. Right here at the bottom, you can see Design School. In Design School, there is all kinds of stuff for you to see and do. Canva Essentials, Social Media Mastery, Meet Canva's Visual Suite, new stuff, latest and greatest stuff. And here's lessons, scaling content with AI, Canva tips for presentations, visual. I mean, just all kinds of stuff to check out and get you some assistance with Canva. You can also Google your question if you're looking at how do I do such and such in Canva. I have Canva Pro now, and I still have questions because I'm still pretty new to Canva Pro, and I'm not very creative minded, and so just kind of figuring out what to put in something. So I Google stuff all the time. How do I do this in Canva? How do I do that in Canva? There are an amazing amount of people out there who have done YouTube videos to help you out as well. So keep a look out for that. All right, let me scroll back up to Sydney so I don't miss anybody. Can I help with TAP issues? What type of TAP issues, Kelly, are you having?
Hey, thanks, Jill. So I had a client that I booked a VRBO in TAP for Friday through Sunday. She has a conference in Texas.
Okay.
Paid, no issues whatsoever. She came back a couple of days ago and said, hey, can I add Thursday to it? So I said, okay. It would not let me modify. I contacted the property owner. He was very nice, obviously through text, but said, yes, here's the price. I can adjust the date. No worries. It's open. Sent me a payment link. Payment link doesn't work. Now, if I go in his text, you'll see the subject as the new updated dates. However, the actual reservation within TAP never updated. He told me to reach out to Expedia. I reached out to Expedia. They send me to VRBO. I reached out to VRBO. They send me back to Expedia. Here we are after 3 days of phone calls and still no resolution and still can't get this guy his money.
So I would maybe reach out to the BDM in that case and let them know, just give them the whole scenario, and see if they can help get you some direction.
Okay, and I can find the BDM on our supplier. It'll list them in there.
If it's not on the supplier list, do a search on the Facebook page because I know somebody was just talking about TAP the other day.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right. See, and I must have missed that because I already. So some of these questions must be popping back up that I know I've already responded to, maybe because people are responding to them as well. Perfect. How do you enter an NCL tour conductor credit in test? Do I list it under the group number or one of the reservations? Probably, oh gosh. That's a good question because my tour conductor rate that I just had for Princess, because I hosted the group, I was on it, I had my own booking, so I just applied it as commission to my own booking. Are you going on the cruise or you just have a group that are going? Are you hosting or not hosting? Carla, that's for you. Not cruising. Okay. That's a good question. Good question. You know, you would want it as You can add it to existing commission. Oh gosh, somebody was just asking about that. I would say, yeah, you could probably you could either split it up amongst all the bookings in the group and add it just to the commission amount, or just add it to one is probably sufficient, or maybe even add it as a second line. Like a second, well, no, because it can't be a second booking. See, now you got me wondering, Carla, because mine was easy. Because I went, or not Carla, it was see, the screen jumped again. Who was I talking to? Who was I talking to? For Carla. Yeah, it's more complicated because you're not going. I would say either add it to just one of the bookings and then make a note somewhere that the TC was added, or break it up between all of the bookings in that group and again modify the commission amount. So maybe take it one of those two ways. And if you're not comfortable with that, you can always check with Amy on how she wants you to enter it. Sorry, I'm sorry I don't have a good answer for that. So let's see. I know Carolyn was asking about FAMs. I have not seen. Oh, did I miss the question about FAMs? Because like I said, it seems like some of these questions have jumped around. So let me go back. I don't remember seeing anything about FAMs, Carolyn.
I just wanted to find out because I'm new and I have no idea even how to approach that. So if you could just kind of.
I don't see a comment about FAMs though. You mentioned that Colleen had commented about FAMs, but I don't see that. Her question was about entering stuff in Carnival, because that's a game that's going on in Carnival.
So is FAM for every or most cruises, or is it resorts? That's what I'm asking. I don't know anything.
So FAMs are familiarization trips. Not every supplier offers them. Not every supplier offers them to everyone. Some suppliers will only offer FAM trips to their top producers, which to me is backwards, because the top producers are already clearly familiar with the supplier. So why do they get to go?
Right.
That's my personal opinion, but that's the way some suppliers work it. Is they'll only send private invitations for FAMs to their top producers to go experience something. So then when there are FAMs, if you see something for a FAM from one of our suppliers, the best you can do is apply for it. I can tell you that most of the time they get hundreds, if not thousands of applications for FAM trips. So they have to go through and figure out who they're going to invite. A lot of them only invite people who are already producing. And it's just, FAMs are kind of a, I hate to say it, but they're kind of a crapshoot. I've applied for FAMs before. I got lucky and got offered spots on 2 of them last year. One I had to cancel last minute because I got sick after the first one. I only had 2 days in between, so that's in my defense. And I was coming back home from Bali, and it was a long, busy trip. But I applied for the same FAMs for the same company the next round that they had, and they had what did they have? They had 27 spots. I think they had 27 spots, and they had over 300 applicants. So it's one of those things where, yeah, you can apply for them, but if you get one, you consider yourself lucky. Just know that they are not free. They are reduced rate trips, and they are working trips. You will not necessarily have a lot of free time. That you are there to learn about the product. You're there to learn about the destination, and they keep you going. I was invited on a 5-day land FAM with Princess in August, September last year. And it was, fortunately, I'd done a land trip before. I'd done the land and sea with Princess before, so I knew how busy it could be. But but they want you to experience it all. So they put you on excursions that your clients might experience, and it is just go, 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 go. They're like, okay, now that we're here and you don't have your luggage yet, and you're running, and I was running around in shorts, and it was, about 40 degrees and raining. I was still waiting for my luggage. This is, you have a little bit of free time, about 40 minutes, and then we've got a tour, an inspection of the facility. And so that was, free time consisted of about 40 minutes of time, maybe an hour if we were lucky. And so FAMs are definitely go, go, go. You work the whole time you're there. You are learning, like I said, you are learning about the product and the destination, and so that you can better sell it to your clients. But yeah, FAMs, you'll typically, if there are FAMs available, you want to be parts of our supplier Facebook groups, on their email threads. That's how you'll get notified about it. Like I said, all I can say is if you see one and you want to apply for it, that's great. Just know that if you receive an offer to go on a FAM, they typically expect payment in full within 24 to 48 hours or so. It's usually a very quick turnaround to pay in full, even if the FAM isn't until months later. So just know that that's an expectation as well, that they expect you to commit. It's non-refundable. So if you do sign up and pay for a FAM and the FAM is still 6 to 8 months away, make sure you get insurance right away, because fortunately I had insurance on my FAMs, and when I had to cancel the second one, I was able to file a claim and get my money back. So because like I said, I got sick. There was nothing I could do about it. I was sick for 3 weeks after I got back from Bali. Great opportunity if you can get them. Their FAMs are great if you can get them. They're wonderful opportunities to learn a supplier that you're not familiar with or not very familiar with. And so hopefully that answers some of your questions about FAMs, Carolyn.
Appreciate that. I think it was Sherry that I was doing a NAO with, and she said something about the number underneath the supplier, and I was wondering, when you signed up for that, what number? I mean, I know what number she's talking about, but is she telling me to put that? Because she didn't say that.
I'm not sure what number you're talking about.
Okay. Well,
do you have a particular supplier that we can look at? Because
I was looking at, I want to go for MSC. I just got off a cruise with them last Sunday. And since I live close to Galveston, I would like to promote some of the cruises that are close to our area.
Okay, there are no numbers listed here under MSC on the supplier page.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It wasn't the number. It was the name. So it didn't have, they don't have a name, but Carnival did. So yeah, it does have one.
Yeah, there's a name, but I'm not sure why are you talking about the name underneath there? That's our BDM. Our BDM is for advanced level, either for learning. You can either ask them questions about groups if you've got, or advanced level questions. They are not for everyday questions, and they are not to be reached out to ask for FAMs.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
maybe I misunderstood. I'll go back and listen to that.
You should never be reaching out to our BDMs or our suppliers and asking them for ship inspections. You should not ask them for FAMs. You should never ask for that. It looks bad on the company. It really turns them off. It actually puts Cornerstone in jeopardy, because they don't want 3,000 agents saying, can you schedule me a ship inspection? It's like, no, ship inspections are scheduled based on the BDM's availabilities, based on their region. So we should never be asking them to schedule something out that's not a normal thing for them. They do not schedule ship inspections based on an individual. They are based, like I said, they are based on their schedule. They will put it out if they have ship inspections or anything like that coming up. They will send out notifications either in emails or to who recently had some FAMs come up. Was it, I can't remember which cruise line it was. It might have been Disney. And Amy posted about it because the emails were sent directly to corporate. And so Amy posts about it. and Amy has said also that, she's also posted this on Facebook, that we should not be contacting BDMs for general everyday things. They're not for general basic booking help. BDMs are business development managers. Their job is to help us succeed in business. They can help us learn. Our BDM with Chubb is willing to schedule one-on-ones to help us learn more about Chubb and selling Chubb insurance. And if you have questions about groups, things like that are more advanced and you can't find the answers directly on the supplier page, then you can reach out, but they're not for general everyday booking assistance type things. They are out in the field a lot and doing on-site. They actually go out to on-site travel agencies that have storefronts and do like lunch and learns. You saw that, may have seen last month, I think it was, that Jordan Gradell was on site in Galveston and did a lunch and learn for at our corporate office. And oh, you know what? We are over the hour. You are right. Hang on, Bethany. I just noticed.
Hey, thank you so much, and I appreciate that information. I'm sorry if I said the wrong thing, but I really thought I'd got that.
No problem. I'm kind of glad you brought it up, because that gave me the chance to emphasize that, BDMs are not for just the everyday stuff, and that we should not actually be emailing them and asking them for FAMs and ship inspections and stuff. So, because that is not their priority. So, all right, let me get some screenshots. Don't anybody go anywhere. Give me just a second to get some screenshots of everybody, because we are over the hour, and I'm sorry if I sounded a little preachy on that about about reaching out to the PDMs. I just don't want anybody to, we don't want to make them upset or go against the policies of how we should be utilizing them as all. So I apologize if I sounded a little preachy on that. Not my intention. All right, I have everybody's attendance. So if anybody needs to drop off, I certainly understand, because again, we are over the hour. So let me pop through the questions real quick just to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I don't want to leave. If you need to go, I've got your attendance, so thank you for that. I registered for Virgin yesterday and gave them my address. Should I have used corporate? So Eric, on the supplier registrations, if it's asking for agent information, that's going to be yours. If it's asking for agency, it should be Cornerstone's. So that's the differentiation there. Yes, you are correct, Tia. Vicki will also post if she gets information about FAMs or ship inspections as well. Like, for example, the Margaritaville at Sea FAMs that a lot of people got in on for this month, and I think into next month. No, it was just this month. The FAM that was this month, that was posted by Vicki. That was a special FAM that was created for us. We do not have an ETA on the new BDM for Carnival. My understanding is we have one. She's currently in training. Once she's out of training, her information will be released. If you have any questions in the meantime on Carnival, Tom, just shoot them out on Facebook. If we can't answer the question, you can always start with corporate and see if they can assist if nobody on the Facebook page can. And then beyond that, you can always try customer service until our BDM's up and running.
Yeah, Carnival Group couldn't help me with it. I thought maybe somebody in Cornerstone could.
Okay, yeah. All right, let's see, what else do I got? Oh, hi, Christine. I believe I'm scheduled for your one-on-one later today, so I will see you in a couple hours, I think. But thanks for joining. Oh, Christine, thank you for pointing that out. I will change the name on that. I will make a point to note that it was Christine and not Kevin. Thank you for telling me. All right, it looks like everything is caught up. We are over the hour. Gosh, it happened Thursday too. So thank you all so much for taking time out of your Saturday to join me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a beautiful rest of your weekend. And we'll see y'all next time. And Tom, I'll hang tight for you. Have a good one, you guys.